These moms and dads lost their brave Navy SEAL sons in battle. And the first mom and dad that I want to introduce to you, they are the mother and father, former Navy SEAL, Arron Vaughn. They are Billie and Karen Vaughn.
We found that on the night our son and 29 other brave American warriors were shot out of the sky in an incident which would become known as the single largest loss of life in naval special warfare history. They were on a mission to capture a very high-value target in the Tangi River Valley of Wardak Province, Afghanistan. This was an incredibly hostile area, which according to our military records, had been cleared by the American soldiers 7 prior times, then turned back over to the Afghanis. The mission that night was actually so dangerous that it had to be approved by leaders outside of the theater. But even then, the following took place. We learned that the most elite warriors in our nation's history, members of the now not so secretive SEAL Team 6, were flown into battle on a CH-47D Chinook, a conventional airframe last retrofitted in the early 1980s. We also discovered that due to this president's negligent, if not criminal, rules of engagement, no pre-assault fire paved the way for that school bus, if you will, to make its slow, contemplated runway landing in this hostile, pitch-black territory, even though it was making its entrance in the midst of a firefight that had been going on for 3.5 hours. A firefight which had the entire valley, according to military records again, in a heightened state of alert. Why? Pre-assault fire, according to our president, could be considered aggressive and disrupt our efforts to win the hearts and minds of our enemy. Possibly the most disheartening thing that we learned was that, again, due to this president's rules of engagement, our air support above, the most impressive the world has ever known, could not return fire on the men who launched the RPG that shot 30 Americans out of the sky. Why? We couldn't be positive that there weren't friendlies in the building, and therefore we were unable to take them out.
Well, it's very brave of you to speak out about this. You were here today at the Defending the Defenders rally. What would you like to see happen in the future with the way the military is run today?
Okay. Can I say something first? Okay, this is what I'd like to see first. And I know it's not going to happen, but until that president is out of the White House, until the rules of engagement are changed, we need to bring our warriors home. That's what we need to do. We need to bring them home. We need to keep them where they're safe. And then when we have a different president and some different rules of engagement, send them back. If that's what they decide they need to do, kick their butt and come home. Not go over there and try to change a culture of a people who don't want to be changed. Our warriors, this is what we've heard from a 3-star admiral in the Navy on the day of the debriefing. He stood up and said to the grieving parents in that room and the spouses, we want to change their hearts and minds. The SEALs, my son was not trained to change somebody's heart and mind. He was trained to kill the enemy. We have politicians to change the hearts and minds. They do it to us. They tell us, let them go over and change it, or send a State Department level. Let them change the hearts and minds, not our warriors.
You know, when you lose a child, there is nothing like it in the world. And one thing that you realize immediately is that your life will never be the same. And you take 30 years of your life and you just pretend it didn't exist. That's what it's like trying to deal with the loss of a child. And then that man has the audacity to put his signature and his stamp of approval on an ad where Bill Clinton says, just imagine what the downside would have been for Obama had the SEALs on the Bin Laden raid been captured or killed. How out of touch can a human being be to say on that? It would be so audacious to even think it. It would be really audacious to speak it out loud. But he's so out of touch with his insanity that he doesn't even realize he made that an ad for the nation to look at, that disgusting insensitivity to the families who have lost warriors on the battlefield. But we're supposed to be concerned as a nation about what the downside would have been for him. How out of touch. How completely out of touch.
Absolutely. Well, our hearts go out to you. And God bless you, and we hope you find some peace. And thank you so much for everything you've given to this great nation. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.